Hey Cinder Boy, welcome back once more to Lunar Magic 101. In this episode, I'm going to be showing off how to tell the player where to go or possibly when to use an item. So, this is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So, starting off, kind of like right here, you have this pipe. Let's just say maybe the person doesn't know to check this pipe for exit of some kind. The two of the simplest ways to do this are, let's say, add coins above it, which would kind of give a indication there might be something in there, or another good one is to take turn turn block, the one that you can spin jump on, and put them over the pipe, and that will give a good indication to the player that hey, you can go down this pipe. Another good indication of say when to use an item, because right here you get this P-switch and you may not know that you're supposed to use it here, in this, right in this area. Instead of having these invisible coin blocks, what you could do is just have coins in the respective locations here, which, yeah, the player could potentially collect these and make them useless, but by seeing the coins and coins that go up, in this case it might be pointing to the dragon coin, but if you get a P-switch out of here, the player should be able to say, oh, there's some coins here, maybe if I hit the P-switch something will happen. And a good alternate to possibly having the player collect these is putting a invisible question mark block to the side of each of these. That way, when the player hits it, even if they collected the coins, they can still jump up and get up there. So, those are some pretty good indications on where to, or how to make the player know where to go. I know I've kind of covered it in the past video, but I wanted to go over it again, giving some more insight on how to give the player some direction. And you can even give direction. It's kind of harder to give direction to go underwater to find a secret because you can't put coins over water default with the vanilla styles, but you can kind of hint. Well, that's kind of like jumping out, but you can, one of the big obvious ways is like, oh, hey, look at this. It's a big arrow made out of coins and it says go down here. That is an indication of sorts. Another way is if you want to play around with the map 16 tiles and try and get a good combination of blank tiles, I should say. You could make an arrow pointing down with these type of tiles. So I don't think there is a flat bottom one, but if you do something like this, you should be able to tell what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I wanted like a flat bottom type one, but I don't think one exists that I could use, which is kind of a shame. But you could create one and have the land kind of making an arrow that points down, which would be perfectly fine. I do know that the grass blocks have that, so you could, instead of using the ones with just a line, you could use the grass blocks here and have the arrow pointing down like so, and just have some fun with it. So that's another way you can show the player that, hey, you should try and go down here. There's probably something that you will want. And it's this way is actually a pretty good one to use, though I can't fully remember. No, you just want to use the normal corners for those. And then for those parts, it's just the corner tiles again. So that would be more subtle. You can make them many different ways. That's kind of a bit more subtle because there's an arrow pointing down, and unless the player's really looking for that, they'll probably skip over it and not even pay attention, be like, oh, there's an arrow that's pointing down, and if you go down, then you find this secret. Whatever the secret may be, it's there. And I don't really have a correct corner tile, so there is a tad bit of cutoff right there, which I am sorry about, but it does exist. So yeah, you can have something that says, oh, hey, look at that. You can go under the land, and obviously if you make something, the player will be able to see it in this fashion, be like, oh, hey, there's something, something under here. Maybe I should go and look to see if I can find it. So many different ways to show off where to go. Really, it's all preference, but I find that sometimes there's, really fun ways to show off where you want the player to go. Other than that, I think the other thing that I want to go over are the different items. And items, I mean P-switches. So you have springboard, you have the two different P-switches, you have the key, wherever the key is, and those are the main items. There's also the pick-upable block, but that is actually under blocks because it is a block instead. So these are really the main items, and each of them have their own specific uses. Springboard, obviously, is a springboard. It makes you jump high. Pretty self-explanatory. P-switches, blue turn coins into brown use blocks into coins, can show hidden things. They also, if you hit the jump button on the exact frame that you touch it, you can actually jump off of it. The other thing you can do is if you can put one next to a pipe or under a door, you can actually enter the pipe or door on the frame you touch the P switch on, because it does act as a solid object for about one frame. Both of those act in the same manner. Silver P-switch, instead of making brown use blocks into coins and vice versa, this one will turn enemies into silver coins, which if you collect enough of them, you get 3-ups. They will also turn munchers into coins, which is quite handy. The next one is the key. The key acts as a solid block, and you can also use it on the keyhole. Being that it acts as a solid block, it cannot hurt other sprites, like turtles, Goombas, all of those, but you can use it as a block in many fashions. If you use extended graphics, you can have a level where it is like a crate or something, and you can have a few on the screen, pick them up, put them down somewhere else, and have some fun stacking them and all of that. Though, I don't believe they stack. I think you can just jump on them. And the last one, even though it's a block, it's still an item you can pick up, is the throwable block. You pick it up, it actually turns into a sprite, and that block you can actually throw, and it can hurt other sprites, turtles, Goombas, and can also activate blocks. I would like to say the P-switch and the key can also activate blocks. Now, with all that information on blocks and what they do, you can use that in conjunction with showing the player where to go by creating like passageways that they may need a certain object, block, whatever have you that you want to call it, to get through. So one example of this would be if you had a small, narrow passageway and some land that goes over this way and some land that goes over this way, and then have like a row of munchers. So by doing that, the player will obviously look for a silver P-switch to be able to get through here, seeing as the munchers are too long to be able to go in there as big, get hurt, and run up to the end being small. So that said, you could actually have like the key and keyhole hidden over on this side. So instead of having to do this little puzzle over here, we may have, you know, the blue P-switch down here, and then a silver P-switch up here. Let's see. There we go. So with that, then you have to use 2 items to get up here, but having a block on the ground will give the player something to want to go towards. And again, we could even change this, get rid of those, and actually raise this area up so the player couldn't actually see underneath the water. And by doing that, we could actually hide the silver P-switch down here. Not even need the blue P-switch. So Get rid of these coins. Silver, good, correct. So you can hide the silver P-switch down there. And that way, the player will need to figure out they have to swim under there to get the silver P-switch before they can beat the level. And then you can just add some cement blocks or something, and it's like, oh, just go up there. So that's a couple things that you could do, change around to give the player a bit more to do and to search for within a level, give more direction. I mean, I guess one of the biggest ways you can give a player direction is just use a message block and tell the player what to do. But that's not always the best option. Star, I want a vine. So let's shrink this a little bit. And a vine. So I was right. So with that said and done, I think I'm pretty much done explaining how to give direction to the player on where to go, what to do. And again, you can play your level. You always want to play your level and test it out to make sure that it is done correctly. And I'm on the castle. No, I'm not. Good. I was thinking I put myself on the castle. So this, it's like, oh, you need to be big to be able to get in there. And I think I actually took out all the power-ups, so I'll have to add one in. But then it's like, oh, what is that? Oh, it's a down arrow. Or you could put the down arrow on this side, which would probably work a little bit better. But as you can see, you cannot see down there. If you come over here, you can't see over there. It's like, oh, there's a big thing of munchers. I wonder what's on the other side. So, as I said, probably moving the arrow to this side will work a tad bit better because it's actually pointing down to the correct area. But it's still a valid thing. So I think that's really all I have for showing off where the player can go. As I've said, there's many different ways to do it. There's very obvious ones, and then there are more subtle ones. So like an obvious one would be having an arrow that says, hey, go that way. Message block that says, hey, do this. So there are things that you can do. You can put places that are subtle. There are ones that aren't subtle that you can still use. But it's all really pretty much preference, what you want to do. So that's pretty much it. Just remember, when you have a jump like this, I have a jump here, try to have some sort of coin trail that says, hey, down here, it's safe. So I just want to point that out, that you always want to have some sort of coin trail assurance that, this area really is safe. You can drop down. Even just a straight line of coins is a drop here type of signal. So just keep all of that stuff in mind when creating a level. You don't want blind jumps. Always have a way to tell the player that, hey, you really do want to go down right here in this area, and so on and so forth. Like this, and then it's like, oh, wait, there's the down arrow. Follow the down arrow. And that will get you over here, which will get you a silver P-switch. And again, wrong corner tiles because I don't have correct coloring. But I'll go over that at a later date. And then over here, it's like, oh no, I don't know where to go. But coin trail, it's safe. And then because you have a silver P-switch, it's, oh hey, I can go over here and get the secret exit, which is broken. Not sure how I broke that, but it's broken. Anyway, this has been Ninja Boy, and I will be back later next time with more as soon as I figure out what I did. Oh, think I accidentally did that. And from bottom, there we go. Two, and top. Okay, well, that is now fixed. Anyway, this has been Ninja Boy, and I will be back next week with more Lunar Magic 101. And like always, if there's anything you want to see, any suggestions for anything, leave a comment, and I do read them. See you guys later.